There is an animal that has been worshipped as a god, feared as an omen, loved as a companion, and burned as a witch. It has crossed oceans with Vikings, sat on the laps of pharaohs, guarded temples in Japan, and protected children in India. 4 civilizations that never met each other, separated by oceans, languages, and thousands of years, all arrived at the same conclusion about this creature. But in the West, something different happened. Why? What do they know about this animal that we forgot? And more importantly, what does this animal see that we don't? Let's start with what science has confirmed. A cat's vision extends into the ultraviolet spectrum. They see a world we cannot. Where we see a blank wall, they see patterns, stains, and trails left by prey, invisible to the human eye. Their hearing reaches up to 64,000 hertz. Humans stop at 20,000. A cat hears the ultrasonic communication of rodents, the high-frequency hum of electrical wiring, the subtle vibrations of a building settling. Their whiskers are not just decorative. They are electromagnetic sensors, detecting the slightest change in air currents, temperature, and electromagnetic fields. A cat can feel an earthquake 10 to 15 minutes before it happens. Their paws contain vibration receptors that detect the faintest tremors in the ground. A cat walking across a room is reading the floor like a seismograph. And then there is the tapetum lucidum, the reflective layer behind their retina that gives cats their glowing eyes at night, amplifying light by up to 50%, allowing them to see in what we consider complete darkness. But here is where it gets interesting. Ancient civilizations did not have electron microscopes or UV spectrometers. They did not know about Pacinian corpuscles or ultrasonic frequencies, yet they treated cats as if they knew all of this. In Vedic astrology, there's a shadow planet called Ketu. Ketu is not a physical planet. It is a mathematical point, the south node of the moon, a point where the moon's orbit crosses the ecliptic. It has no mass, no body, no light of its own. And yet, in the Jyotish system, Ketu is one of the most powerful influences in a birth chart. Ketu represents detachment, spiritual vision, the unseen, the occult, sudden flashes of insight, and the ability to see beyond the veil of illusion. Ketu is associated with snakes, specifically the serpent's tail, because in Vedic mythology, the demon Svarbhanu was cut in 2 by Vishnu's discus. The head became Rahu, the tail became Ketu. The tail has no head, no ego, no rational mind, only pure instinct and spiritual perception. Now look at the cat. The cat is Ketu's favorite animal in Vedic tradition. Why? Because the cat embodies every quality of Ketu. It is detached. It walks alone. It does not obey. It sees what others cannot. It is comfortable in darkness. It is associated with the night, with mystery, with the threshold between worlds. In Vedic texts, the cat is considered a vehicle of Shashti, the goddess of childbirth, protection, and children. Shashti rides a black cat. She protects the vulnerable, especially newborns, from negative energies. The cat, in this tradition, is not a pet. It is a guardian, a spiritual sensor, an antenna for frequencies that humans cannot detect. Did the ancient Vedic sages know something about cats that we are only now rediscovering with science? What makes the cat truly extraordinary is not what any single culture believed. It is that 4 completely isolated civilizations, separated by oceans and millennia, all arrived at the same conclusion. In ancient Egypt, cats were not just pets. They were protectors of the home, guardians of the underworld, and manifestations of the goddess Bastet. To kill a cat in Egypt was punishable by death. When a family cat died, the household would go into mourning, shaving their eyebrows as a sign of grief. Cats were mummified and buried with their owners. The Egyptians observed that cats seemed to see things that humans could not. They would stare at empty walls, hiss at nothing, and act as if they were interacting with invisible presences. The Egyptians believed cats could see the spirits of the dead and the gods of the underworld. In India, the goddess Shashti rides a black cat. She is the protector of children, the guardian of childbirth. In Bengali tradition, Shashti is worshipped to ensure the survival of newborns, a time when infant mortality was devastatingly high. The black cat, in this context, is not bad luck. It is a divine protector. It patrols the threshold between life and death, guarding the most vulnerable. In Japan, the maneki neko, the beckoning cat, is one of the most common lucky charms in the world. The raised paw is said to invite good fortune, customers, and prosperity. But the maneki neko has a deeper meaning. The cat is believed to ward off evil spirits. In Japanese folklore, cats are protectors against the supernatural, creatures that can perceive malevolent forces and keep them at bay. And then there are the Vikings. The Norse goddess Freya, goddess of love, beauty, fertility, war, and death, rode a chariot pulled by two massive blue-gray cats. In Norse mythology, cats were associated with Freya's domain over life and death. She chose half of the warriors slain in battle to dwell in her hall. The cat, in this context, was a guide between worlds, 4 civilizations, 4 continents, thousands of years apart. And all of them saw the cat as a bridge between the visible and the invisible. Coincidence? But in medieval Europe, something changed. Cats, especially black cats, became associated with dark forces. In 1233, a papal decree called Vox in Rama officially linked black cats to Satan. Women who kept them were often accused of witchcraft. The result was devastating. With cats being systematically removed from cities and villages across Europe, the rat population exploded. And with the rats came the Black Death, a plague that killed an estimated 50 million people, up to 60% of Europe's population. The very animal they feared was the one that could have saved them. In the East, cats were revered as protectors. In the West, they were persecuted. The cat did not change. We did. Today, science is catching up with what ancient cultures already knew. We now know that cats can detect Earth's magnetic field. A 2021 study found that cats align their bodies with the magnetic north-south axis when resting. They are magnetoreceptive. They can sense earthquake precursors days before major seismic events. There are countless documented cases of cats detecting cancer, seizures, and diabetic episodes in their owners before any medical diagnosis. Some researchers believe cats can detect volatile organic compounds released by diseased cells, the same principle behind electronic cancer detectors. Cats communicate with each other using frequencies above human hearing. They purr at frequencies between 25 and 150 hertz, frequencies known to promote bone density and tissue regeneration. The purr itself may be a healing mechanism. But perhaps the most fascinating discovery is this: a cat's eye is a light amplifier. It can detect individual photons, the smallest possible unit of light. What if the invisible things that cats stare at are not supernatural at all, but simply frequencies of light and energy that exist beyond the range of human perception? What if the ancient Egyptians, Indians, Japanese, and Norse were not being superstitious? They were observing something real and describing it in the only language they had, the language of gods, spirits, and the divine. The cat sits in your living room, staring at a wall you think is empty. But what if it is not empty? What if the wall is filled with frequencies, electromagnetic fields, ultrasonic sounds, and subtle vibrations that your human senses simply cannot detect? What if the cat is not staring at nothing, but at everything? The ancient Vedic sages called this the principle of Ketu, the ability to see beyond the veil. The Egyptians called it the gift of Bastet. The Japanese called it protection. The Norse called it the chariot of the goddess. We call it a pet. But perhaps it is time to look at the cat with new eyes, not as a superstition, not as a pet, but as a living reminder that reality is far richer, far stranger, and far more mysterious than our limited senses can perceive. The cat knows. It has always known. The question is, are you ready to see what it sees? The cat does not need you to believe. It simply sits there, night after night, staring into a world you cannot perceive. It asks nothing of you, except perhaps to notice that what you call empty may not be empty, that what you call imagination may be perception, that maybe, just maybe, the universe is far more alive, far more conscious, and far more mysterious than your five senses can prove. The cat has always known this. It has never forgotten, and if you watch closely enough, perhaps it can remind you too. Stay curious. Subscribe for more.